Alright, welcome to part 4 of my playthrough of the F2 Championship on F1 2021. I just did qualifying for Austria. We're on the pole. Standings wise, we extended our lead with that pole position, so there is that. And let's get right to the race, the feature race. Alright, let's get to it.
Here we are amidst the dense forest and rolling hills of Spielberg in Austria, just 2 hours out of Vienna. It's an amazing destination for the race today, and we're about to get started. So Spielberg is one of the shortest laps on the F2 calendar, just 10 corners, 7 right and 3 left. Look out for the uphill braking zone into turn 3. That represents one of the better opportunities to overtake. Also turn 4 straight afterwards, and then the next one being all the way back round to turn 1. As usual, I'm joined by our good friend Davide Valsecchi as we soak up the dramatic scenery. Do you think the drama will continue onto the track today, Davide?
Ciao Alex, I think we can guarantee that. Austria has always been a track that encourages the driver to overtake and attack. But it's a low grip surface. The drivers out there today will have to make sure that the tiny mistakes don't end up hurting them later in the race.
Here are the starting positions for today's race. It's Campos in pole position then, with Yuki Tsunoda alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Schumacher, Armstrong, Jan Daruvala and Joe, Markelot, Lundgaard, Giotto, Giuliano Alesi, Tictum, Piquet, Marino Sato and Dragovic, Delatraz, Matsushita, Ilott and Jack Aitken, Schwartzman, Nissani, Mazepin and Sean Galeo completes the grid.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Alright, I think we could pretty easily win this one, but we'll see how our start is. And we're underway, and Tsunoda's gonna beat us, as is Schumacher, as is Armstrong. The first turn, very tight. We're going side by side with Tsunoda. Crossover. We are into the lead.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
I skipped practice because I saw that practice was kind of rain, and with the rest of the weekend being dry, I was like, yeah, I probably don't need to do this. Of course, DRS is available on this lap, and I see the battle for third is really heating up with Armstrong and Schumacher Joe. They're all very tight together. Armstrong's going to be the one under attack because he has no DRS, because Tsunoda is about almost 2 seconds ahead of him.
We're leading our teammate by 11.2 seconds.
Curious. 8th place currently is Christian Lundgaard, so he would be the pole sitter if things remain where they are for race number 2.
This is your final lap of the race.
Come through the final set of corners for an easy victory here at the Red Bull Ring.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing. Well done.
Brilliant stuff from Campos today. What a superb victory. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
This race, this win, was about one thing and one thing only: consistency. Anyone can be quick for just one lap, but there's a difference between that and being quick every lap, over and over and over. If you can do that, if you can gain ground when your opponents make mistakes, but then not make mistakes on your own, you can just push and push.
It's time to present the top drivers with their trophies for today's race, and there are a lot of people in the paddock very happy with this result. It's Campos on the top step. And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. A strong race then for our championship leader that's extended their advantage at the top of the standings. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
I think it's got to be Sean Galeol. He's not always spectacular, but he quietly gets the job done, and that's the case today.
On to the teams then. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. Meanwhile, good work from Campos this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Alright, and there's the results of the feature race. Checking the standings. Our points lead is now 45 over Yuki Tsunoda. And 51 over Mick Schumacher. And Christian Lundgaard will be on pole for the sprint race. And let's get to it.
We're returning after yesterday's feature race for the final event of the weekend, the sprint. Down on the grid below us, the drivers are spending their last few minutes getting ready. Very soon, they're going to kick this race off in dramatic fashion. Alongside me today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the commentary box the 2012 GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. There looks to be a challenging race ahead of the drivers today, Davide. With that in mind, what are you looking out for today?
Well, Alex, I want to see how the drivers at the back of the grid are going to roll down. They'll need to make an impact in the early stages, and they're probably hoping for a bit of luck at the start. We may see some bold maneuvers out there today.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Alright, as always, we'll be starting P8 and we'll see what we can do in 3 laps. Three wide. Sort of squeeze our way through. 3 wide again. Lundgaard lost out big at the start here to Deruvula. Dive bomb into the corner, and we get into the podium places. And I think we have a chance to win this race, to be completely honest with you. Around the outside of Christian Lundgaard, it's gonna be tight. Tight squeeze, side by side, but we get the position. So, we did drop the position to 9th on the initial start, so really, we've gone from P9 to P2 in one lap, and we're already challenging for the lead. As we close in on Deruvula. Locked up a little bit there. Here we go. The outside. Way better momentum. We just speed on by. Here we go, final lap of the sprint race.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Deruvula and Lundgaard are the podium position holders at the moment. Around the final two corners. And we're going to sweep the weekend in Austria quite easily.
You worked hard for that one. Congratulations.
And an incredible win for Campos. Brilliant performance. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
What a race, Alex. Every so often we get a spectacle like we did today. Less focus on strategy and time management, and more on just pushing it to the limits and battling it out for those top positions. I think what we experienced today is evidence of why Formula 2 is continuing to draw into crowds. And expect today's race will definitely be turning a few more heads to the series.
I can see them on their way out to the podium now. Campos have come a really long way in this sport, and what a special race this was to see them earn the top spot. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Our current points leader extends their lead at the top of the championship after a very good result here today. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
Well, I'm going to give it to the Campos driver today. There was a lot of going on down the field. There's no question for me. They were the best.
And now a look at the team standings. Campos moved to the top of the table. That's the end of today's race. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sure you'll agree it was a great race and sets us up nicely for the next instalment in a few weeks' time. Take care. It's goodbye.
Alright, and that was the sprint race in Austria. Championship standings. 62 points over Yuki Tsunoda. 67 over Mick Schumacher. And there you go. I actually don't know what race is next. Looks like it's Silverstone. Alright, let's get to it. We'll do a little bit of practice and qualifying and then the two races.
Sit rep, we've got a leak in the hydraulic system, so it's going to be a few minutes before we can get you out
Not
on
anymore.
track. This test is all about tyre management. Try to control the slip through each corner and take extra care putting the power down at the apex.
I didn't realize that lap time is so long here in an F2 car. I mean, they are slower, but still, it's surprising. And the tire test is not going well, but it really doesn't matter since these races are so short.
pace is good, but
I think
tyre
I'm
wear
gonna
that lap was quite
skip.
severe.
I think I'm gonna skip the race strategy because again, there's no point in doing the race strategy because there's no race strategy in this the way I have the race set up with 5-lap features, 3-lap sprints. Also, kinda want to be on the safe side.
Fuel management here, so try to lift and coast going into the corners. Don't be too aggressive on the power, but remember, you still have to beat the minimum lap time.
Also want to be on the safe side with the sprint race coming up just after, or just before 11:30. Or sprint qualifying, I should say.
Program complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can talk you through the numbers.
The thing I know good about Jack Aiken, my teammate, is that he seems to do pretty long practice, and then qualifying he's nowhere to be found.
As all cars are now over the line, your top three again are Acampos, Deruvala, and Yuki Tsunoda. That concludes an intro.
Alright, let's go to one-shot qualifying. Alright. Well, let's go for qualifying in Silverstone. That's not good. See if we can make up any spots after that mistake. Ooh, almost lost it there. Already 21st, 20th, 19th, 18th, 17th, 16th, 15th, second 16, 6, 5, 4. Really gained so much through those corners. Second to Yuki Tsunoda. For a mistake in one of the corners back there. Sorry, I it can be very hard sometimes to remember all these corner names for certain tracks. Like I've heard them, but I'm not committed them to
From the
memory.
excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top three: Tsunoda, Campos, and Mick Schumacher. It's time to leave for now, but we'll be back tomorrow.
Would you
when the
look
feature
at
race
that?
gets
Jack
itself
Aitken
underway.
actually had a good qualifying. That is shocking. I'm shocked that Jack Aitken actually had a good qualifying run for once. Did not expect that. Alright, let's go to the feature race.
Welcome to Silverstone, one of the staples of the Formula 2 Championship. It's a firm favourite amongst fans and drivers alike, and we're all keen to see what it has in store for us in today's race. The 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain should be familiar to fans and drivers alike. Built upon the site of a World War II airbase, the track features 18 corners and some good opportunities to overtake at the end of the two DRS zones located on the Wellington and Hanger Straits. Joining me today in the commentary box is former 2012 GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi. We all know the circuit so well, Davide. What's got your attention today?
Always a pleasure, Alex. Everyone looks forward to Silverstone, and with such an intriguing grid, I think the fans will be excited for the start of today's race. We know these young drivers are hungry to prove themselves. Hopefully, we'll be seeing some more history being made today.
As the engineers make their last inspection of the cars, let's take a look at today's grid order for the race. Yuki Tsunoda lines up on pole position, and a Campos alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Schumacher, Ticktum, Jack Aitken, and Deruvalo. Schwartzman, Dragovic, Sato, Callum-Ilott, Armstrong, Matsushita, Pedro Piquet, and Joe, Lundgaard, Markelon, Giotto, and Giuliano Alesi. Mazepin, Nissany, Delatraz, and Sean Galeo completes the grid.
Alright.
This is our engine.
Got a mission here. See if I can get Jack Aitken on the podium. Well, it's not going to happen like that. I can tell you that for sure. Deruvalo, what are you doing? Tictum and Aiken. Oh no! Oh man,
Okay.
what a crash that
That was
was!
a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
What a crash that was! Whoa, everyone's going super slow. Whoa. Just cut the corner unintentionally there. There goes Mick. I'm so much faster than the rest of the field that at this point I'm just messing with other people.
What happened? Let me know
Uh-oh,
you're okay.
oh, the camera didn't show the contact. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Oh, no, he hit Jack Aiken. That's not what I wanted. Alright, come on, we gotta get serious here. Uh-oh. Come on, Sonoda, work with me here. Ooh, run wide. And Jack Aiken is up to second place. Go, teammate. Go win the race. I will hold off the rest of the field for you. Again, I don't know what it is. It's like the first time Aiken has had any sort of luck this season. And currently, the pole sitter for the second race will be Callum Ilott. or 2 more laps. Oh, I just straight at the wall there.
This is your final lap of the race.
Jack Aitken will finally get some points!
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
A great win then for the Campos team today. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
It was down to one thing: consistent pace over everyone else out there on the track. We could spend a great deal of time talking about race and tire strategy, what else occurred on the track, but at the end of the day, the difference here was down to simply being faster on track than everyone else. Amazing skill on show.
No, I don't know if it was faster than me, but...
It's time to present the top drivers with their trophies for today's race, and there are a lot of people in the paddock very happy with this result. It's Campos on the top step. After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the driver's table. A strong race then for our championship leader that's extended their advantage at the top of the standings. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Probably Jade Aitken. You know, strong pace, good work with the strategy, just a very complete driver thing.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams Championship. Campos moved to the top of the table. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Alright, take a look at the standings. We are well ahead of second and third. The win by Jack Aiken actually catapults him all the way up to 13th, where previously he would have been 20th or 19th, somewhere around there. So, good to see Aiken at least finally get on the board. But Marcus Armstrong actually passed Callum Ilott on the last lap there, so he will be on pole for the sprint race. Let's get to it.
And we're back. After yesterday's feature race, the top 8 drivers have been reversed on the grid, setting up some exciting action as we launch into today's event, the sprint race. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao, Alex. It's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
This is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Let's give them a race worth watching.
Alright, let's get ready to go. We're starting P7. And yeah, we are all set to go here. We'll see how Marcus Armstrong can do from the pole position. See how Tsunoda and Schumacher can do starting in the back. Oh, and Guan Yu Zhou goes for a spin.
We've been awarded a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race.
That's not good. Let's take a look at what happened there. Yeah, that really caused a problem. Just blocked up the pack for everyone else. Everyone else just kind of had to stop. Well, those people weren't going to score points. Anyway, so we carry on. Well, Dan Ticktum just making it 3 wide. Wow, what a move. It's not going to work out for him. Whoa, whoa. Get straight. we have a 2-second time penalty coming our way for that collision. Going to the back of Kalamila. Locked her up. Go wide. In case you haven't noticed, I'm messing around a little bit. I guess that's what you can do when your car is this fast.
This is your final lap of the race.
DRS enabled for the last lap of the race. Matsushita sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Or after the sprint race, I should say. Now it's Yuki Tsunoda. Marcus Armstrong will hold on to win the sprint race at Silverstone.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Oh. Nikita Mazepin gets driver of the day. Is that so?
Brilliant stuff from ART today. What a superb victory. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
The difference wasn't the strategy. Credit to the driver for sure, but races like this really drive home how much of a team sport this is. They did a lot of work on the pit wall to really make the most of each stint and to make the best use of the tires. But that said, All of that would have been for nothing without a talented hand on the wheel.
ART, the French team who have been racing since the 90s in various forms of motorsport, are once again back on the winner's podium today after a brilliant display of driving skill. And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. Our current points leader extends their lead at the top of the championship after a very good result here today. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
Difficult call, but I take Nikita Mazepin. He was just special in the using of tires. He managed the tires to the end, and he was the quickest.
On to the teams then. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling installment when Formula 2 returns.
So many penalties for that first corner incident, but nevertheless, Marcus Armstrong wins championship standings. Not much changes, although I think Jack Aiken actually. So it's funny, Jack Aiken was 13th, and it shows him going up a spot when he actually dropped down 2 spots. So that's interesting how they label that. But yeah, there you go. That was Silverstone feature and sprint race. And that'll be it, as actually the F1 sprint qualifying should start in a couple minutes. So, thanks for watching.